16 months ago, she was the only European leader at his inauguration. January 2025. Washington, D.C. Front row. Smiling. Close. She called him a brilliant man. She said they would make the West great again, together. Headlines called her Europe's Trump whisperer. Then came 1 month that changed everything. This is the full story. From the referendum defeat to the Paris summit. From brilliant man to allies, not vassals. From the woman who stood in Trump's front row to the woman who sat at a table he wasn't invited to. This is how Meloni rewrote Italy's place in the world. March 23rd, 2026. The referendum. Italy voted on Meloni's flagship judicial reform. 53.7% said no. It was her first major defeat. Her image as unbeatable, built carefully since October 2022, cracked for the first time. The opposition celebrated. Her coalition showed pressure. Analysts said her path to 2027 had narrowed. She conceded that night. She said she would not resign. She said the commitment was unchanged. But something had shifted, and everyone in Rome could feel it. Then came the energy crisis. The Iran war had been running since February 28th. Iranian attacks had damaged Qatar's LNG infrastructure. The Strait of Hormuz was partially closed. Diesel in Italy hit €2.50 per litre. Airport fuel restrictions at Milan, Venice, Bologna, Treviso. Italy's borrowing costs surging at their fastest pace since 2022. Trump was demanding that Europe join his naval coalition, reopen the strait, send ships, fight alongside America. Meloni said no. Not loudly, not with a press conference, but clearly. Italy refused to allow US bombers to refuel at Sigonella in Sicily. Italy refused to join the naval coalition. Italy said no. Trump said nothing. For weeks. Then came April 3rd. Meloni boarded a plane, unannounced. Saudi Arabia, Qatar, the UAE. The first European Union leader to visit the Gulf since the war began. She was protecting Italy's energy supply, independently, without Washington's help, without asking permission. And back in Rome, Salvini was moving. The Easter dove, the Russia statements, the coalition showing its first real cracks. But Meloni had no time for internal politics. She was managing an energy emergency. Then came April 12th, a Sunday night. Trump posted on Truth Social. Pope Leo XIV was terrible on foreign policy, weak, hurting the church. Then, 46 minutes later, an AI image of himself as a Christ-like figure. Italy watched. Meloni said nothing on Sunday. On Monday, the opposition moved immediately. She has no courage, they said. She will protect the relationship. She will look the other way. They were wrong. Monday afternoon, Meloni issued a second statement. Precisely chosen, precisely worded. I find President Trump's words towards the Holy Father unacceptable. The Pope is the head of the Catholic Church, and it is right and normal for him to call for peace and to condemn every form of war. One word: unacceptable. In 16 months, she had never used that word about anything Trump did. His response came Tuesday morning. Corriere della Sera. I'm shocked by her. I thought she had courage, but I was wrong. She's not the same person. Italy is not the same country. The response from Rome was immediate and complete. Foreign Minister Tajani, opposition leader Schlein, every party, every corner of Italian politics united around Meloni, against Trump. Italy repudiates war, Schlein said from the floor of Parliament. No foreign head of state can allow himself to attack or threaten our country. That same Tuesday afternoon, Meloni in Verona at a wine festival. A quiet moment, a casual announcement. The government has decided to suspend the automatic renewal of the defence agreement with Israel. Italy had been one of Israel's closest European allies for years. That agreement was now suspended. Two announcements in one afternoon. The Pope, Israel. 3 weeks of no to Sigonella, no to the naval coalition. The poll arrived 2 days later. Istituto Noto poll, broadcast on Rai 1. 81% of Italians said she did the right thing defending the Pope. 9% said wrong. Italy Viva voters, Renzi's centrists, 92% behind her. Democratic Party voters, the left opposition, 89%. Brothers of Italy, her own base, 88%. 81%, the number that saved a political career. Then came Wednesday. Zelensky flew to Rome, Palazzo Chigi. A drone deal, joint production. Italy and Ukraine building the weapons of the future together. The day after Trump said he was wrong about her, she was announcing a partnership with the man fighting Russia. And then came Paris. April 17th, the Élysée Palace. 49 countries, Macron and Starmer hosting. Meloni there in person alongside Merz. The summit of the willing, a plan for a multinational maritime mission to secure the Strait of Hormuz, without the United States. Meloni offered Italy's naval units. She said the reopening of the strait was a priority. She said Europe was ready to play its part in international security alongside its partners. Not alongside Washington, alongside its partners. That sentence, spoken from the Élysée Palace, standing next to the leaders of France, Britain and Germany, is the sentence that defines the month. Headlines around the world captured what had happened. The Trump whisperer who stopped whispering. Allies, not vassals. The week Italy changed. Roberto Dallimonte, professor of political science at Luis University in Rome, described Meloni's approach to Bloomberg. She is not going to put all eggs in one basket. She will straddle the line and move more towards European allies, step by step, until she can distance herself without breaking relations. That is exactly what she did, step by step. No to Sigonella. No to the naval coalition. Unacceptable on the Pope. Suspension of the Israel agreement. Drone deal with Zelensky. 81%. Paris summit. Each step deliberate, each step measured, each step moving in the same direction, away from Washington, toward Europe. She has not broken with Trump. She has not left NATO. She has not abandoned the Atlantic Alliance. When asked, she still says Italy and the United States are allies. The relationship remains. But what happened this month is real, and it cannot be undone. The woman who attended his inauguration, the woman he called a real live wire, the woman he said was a great leader. That woman looked at everything Trump had done, the Iran war, the Pope, the Sigonella demand, the NATO threats, and drew her lines. The Pope is a line. Italian sovereignty is a line. Europe's security is a line. And in drawing those lines, she found something she had lost in the referendum defeat. Support, unity, a narrative, a story about who she is and what Italy stands for. Allies, not vassals. That phrase is not a declaration. It is not a policy. It is a moment. The moment an Italian Prime Minister looked at the most powerful man in the world and said clearly, without breaking the alliance, without dramatic gestures, there are things we will not do. Italy repudiates war. The Constitution says so. Meloni finally said so too, and 81% of Italy agreed. The phrase that emerged from the week, allies, not vassals, was not hers. It came from analysts and commentators trying to describe what Italy had done. But it is the most accurate description of the position she has now staked out. Italy is an ally of the United States. It will remain one. But it is not a vassal. It will make its own decisions. It will draw its own lines. It will sit at its own tables. That is the story of this month. The story of how a woman who called Trump brilliant, who stood in the front row at his inauguration, who built her entire foreign policy identity around the relationship, that woman found her lines. And in finding them, she found Italy again. Subscribe to the Record Room, because the next file is already open.